Hello, have a pleasant day. Today's class is the relationship between banker and customer. I'm Srimati from Dr. Ambedkar Global Law Institute, Tirupati. Let us start the class with an introduction. The banker and customer relationship arises as soon as the customer opens or as soon as a person opens a bank account at a bank. So the relationship arises out of contract and not out, it is not imposed by the law. So here this contractual relationship arises or regulates by the rules of in the Negotiable Instruments Act and the Indian Contract Act. So the relationship between the banker and the customer has different kinds. So let us start one by one. That is nature of relationship with debtor and creditor, trustee and beneficiary, pledger and pledgee, Bailor and Bailey, agent and principal. So there are different way of nature of relationship exists between them. Let us see how it has been existing. So let's start with the nature of relationship under debtor and creditor. So here the respective position of this debtor and creditor being existing by the state of account. So there is about two way when a customer deposits in a bank and when the bank uh, lends a loan to the customer. So in two ways we are going to see this relationship debtor and creditor. So here we can say that instead of money being set apart in the safe room, we can place it by the debt due from the banker. So here the money which has been deposited by the customer with the bank becomes the latest property, that is bank's property, and it has been absolute under their disposal. Here the relationship between the banker and the customer is that of debtor and creditor. So the banker being the debtor, he is bound to repay the amount which has been deposited, and when the customer, it's about the demands, when they make a demand, when the customer makes a demand, then the banker has to repay it. So this can be demanded in different ways, that they have to demand in a right place, that is right branch, right place and right time, like, so they have to make it a demand. And similarly when there is about loans and advances which has been, when in such a case, then the bank is the creditor and the customer is the debtor. Here the banker, that is the creditor, may ask any time to pay it. Suppose they can ask it on the term, or they may ask it in advance, in due date, advance to the due date. So the customer has to repay the debt. So this has been given in NMN Duraisamy Chettiar versus Dindigul Urban Union Cooperative Bank. So here with that case, what they held is the relationship between banker and the customer is first dependent on what knows the principal and agent, but it is about a debtor and creditor like they have given. And the next relationship is the trustee and beneficiary. So here you know who is about a trustee and who is about a beneficiary. So when the customer deposits securities or valuables with the bank for safe custody, then the banker becomes trustee of the customers. So here we can say that when the valuables held as a trustee are not available for distribution to the general creditors. So when it's about goes long, then they have to keep it in a time, and it is not in the nature of debtor and creditor, but they have to comes under the special agreement has trustee and beneficiary relationship. So here when the customer deposits, then we say it's about banker becomes trustee for their customers. And the next relationship is pledger and pledgee. So here the pledgee can retain the goods pledged not only for the payment of debt or the performance or promise of performance, but also for the interest of others necessary expenses like which has been incurred for preservation of goods pledged. So if the pledger fails to make a payment, when the pledger fails to make the payment of debt or perform promise, then the pledgee can file a suit to retain the goods which has been pledged under the collateral security or they can sell the goods which has been pledged by giving a reasonable notice to the pledger. So when it has been done, they have to give a reasonable notice. So without that, they can't go with selling or making an auction. So this has been given in the sessions 173 to 177 of Indian Contract Act 1872. So you know who is about pledgee. The person one who pledges called a pledger, and the person to whom the pledge is made is called a pledgee. So the banker takes pledge of goods when he lends money to his customers. And the next one is Bailor and Bailey. This is about a special case. So since the bank offers different services to the customers, so they are offering the safe custody facilities also. So here there is about a legal relationship arises in case when the customer makes a safe deposit or safe custody of that bailment. So here the customer one who deposits with the bank for safe custody is called a Bailor and Bailey. The bank is called a Bailey. So we are going to see that. Okay. So when the bank offers safe custody facilities to the customer, it takes charge of goods, articles or securities which has been belonging to the customers as a Bailey, and not on the basis of trustee or not on the basis of agent. So they have to take that much of possible care and expected to employ all precautions in respect of the goods which has been deposited with him. So it should be disposed when the customer is required, as the case of Bailor, and this is about Bailey. Okay, and the next one is the relationship between agent and principal. As if I said, the banker is having different services provided to the customer. So here the banker also collects checks, bills and makes payment to the various authorities like rent, telephone charges or insurance premiums, etc. on behalf of the customers. They are making the charges to that person, and then they are making the payment on behalf of the customers. So here abides all when they will do when they get the standing instructions from the customers. So in such a case, the bank acts as an agent of its customers, and for the services they are charging. And then so as per Indian Contract Act, agent is entitled to charges. So here no charges are levied in collection of local checks through clearing houses. So that is easy and you know well. And then the charges are levied in only when the check is returned to clearing houses. So this has been given under the section 182 of Indian Contract Act 1872. So you know what is about an agent, and the person who act for on behalf of the principal, and then the principal is liable to the party for the acts of agent. Hope you understood. Stay tuned. Until the next, it's bye from Srimati. Thank you.